Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast, the only podcast that I say you didn't know you needed. I say to Josh and Brent staring back at me, all this could be such a dream, so it seems. I was never much good at goodbyes. Say hello, Josh.
Yo, what's the reason for that lyric?
Well, as Brent can probably attest to us, this is our we're kissing 2021 goodbye, Brent. Is that what you're calling it?
I already made the artwork. It said 2021, the year in review. Sounds like we're more serious that way.
Okay. It
Plus
might sound that way, but we're not.
Yeah.
The Kiss 2020 goodbye was it correlated with the Kiss concert from Dubai last year.
Yeah.
So we went and stole the title.
Well, anyway, it's our end of the year. We're talking, looking back on what a fantastic year it was. It's hard to believe another year has gone by. And we're still, A, we're still talking to each other, and B, we're still doing this fantastic podcast about the greatest band that we all know and love that isn't named Kiss. So goodbye to 2021. I welcome 2022. Yeah, my mind doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
I've been moving around too much. I don't know where I'm at right now. So real quick, did everybody have a good Christmas?
I've been sick for the last couple of weeks, so I got this Nick Nolte voice. One of you guys said I sounded like.
Sounds like Nick Nolte from 48 Hours era.
There we go.
Hey, Reggie.
Well, what
Go,
Nick Nolte went out for the Harrison Ford role for Han Solo, so it'd have been cool if he would have got that. Like, come on, Chewbacca.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Laugh it up. Let's get on the Falcon. Yeah, I had a good Christmas. The kiddo had a good Christmas. So.
That's great, man. Brent, you? Christmas nice? I see something sitting behind you there. Do you want to talk about that or wait till later?
Just got my Merry Christmas shirt from my lovely daughter, Madison.
Nice.
She surprised me with something. Nobody ever buys me anything Kiss in my family. And it was a treat. That's why it's being shown off.
It's funny when people say, like, I never know what to get Brent. I'm like, well, what do you mean what not to get Brent? Anything Kiss related.
Well, I don't know what you already have. Well, you ask, and I can give you 100 different things that I'd like.
Or call me.
Or pick one,
Yeah.
Or as they say in Two Sides of the Coin, choose one. Sorry.
Any hoodles. Well, our last episode that was released, Josh and I talked about Jeff Watson and his Lone Ranger album. Brent, you missed out on that. Josh, You have any feedback, anything you want to talk about that we didn't mention during that episode when we were both falling asleep almost during it?
So, there was obviously feedback. Some of the people on the West Coast, John Davey and some others talked about seeing Jeff in concert during this time. Patty Soros had some photos that she had sent me earlier in the year that we posted on the page from the Jeff Watson solo era. So a little bit before this Lone Ranger album came out. Trying to find the one comment, which I'm not. Oh, it's on the YouTube. So give me a second here. So Paul Crossman said that this record was only available in Europe for months before we got it in the US. So he said he had to call the UK from a payphone in college to order it.
Man, that's dedication.
That's why I was saying that, it was a different world than it is today, where I can order something from Europe like 7 and it's here within days, to where there could be albums released and out for months before you'd actually know about it. So, and again, like I said in the last episode, even if you aren't into just instrumental stuff, Jeff's solo album is different. It's really melodic, really good. So, give it a fair shake and give it a listen.
And there's some great scatting on one of the songs by
Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar.
Skidda-fat-doo-doo.
That's more
I
like
mean, I'm
rock.
paraphrasing that, Brent. I don't know if that's the exact wording, but
I'll take your word for it.
any chance I get to throw a little scat in there, I do it.
God, if anyone's even listening up to this point, you got issues.
That's good stuff.
Oh,
What else we got? So I guess we mentioned this episode is the year in review 2022. So we got that. Is there any new Night Ranger news, Josh? Anything that's happened or new since we last talked?
Well, not much. There was there's a show April 3rd in Clearwater, Florida. That was announced. I think tickets go on sale the first week in January. And on YouTube, the full footage of Night Ranger on American Bandstand, their second time on there from March of '84, finally
Yes.
made an appearance.
I watched that. It was so cool, man.
So before it was just the interviews, but now the whole live clip or recorded clip is up there. So
Yeah, you
You
get
want-
Rockin' America and Rumors, which was awesome to
Mhm.
see.
yeah, so
Awesome to see live, as I air quote that.
So you want to see a little bit of Night Ranger history? There you go. Just Night Ranger American Bandstand from '84.
Yeah. Anybody? So we got any new stuff we want to talk about? Show off, Brent. I know you showed your shirt already.
yeah, Andy, we never asked you about your Christmas.
My Christmas was fantastic. I mean, I can't complain. I spent the week before Christmas in San Diego, which is always a favorite place of mine to go. Got home, landed, packed a suitcase, and drove to Cincinnati to spend Christmas with my family. Got some stuff. I meant to have something to show you guys, but as Josh and Brent can attest, me showing up here was hurried, so I don't have anything ready to show today.
And
So, I
both-
leave again tomorrow morning for Knoxville.
And we both got official Fans in Motion merchandise from Mr. Brent Walter that I forgot to wear, and you left in Cincinnati.
Mine merchandise is still sitting at a hotel. And
Me
Josh,
too.
I got something from a guy named Josh Weaver, but I don't have it with me to show, so we'll have to wait till after the new
You
year.
two could be the Thompson twins in the next episode. I expect it.
Hold
figured-
me now.
I figured Andy wouldn't mind having another Fans of Motion shirt, and I knew Josh was never going to buy one. So
I ain't buying that shit.
he's got one now, and it came out pretty good. I chose the Midnight Madness themed design, and it was funny because after the shirts came, I started playing around with that logo, and I started creating one that says Podcast Madness, like on the like the shirt. And I'm like, I wish I'd have done that before I ordered. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what mine's going to say, because now I don't have that shirt, and it looks really cool.
Podcast of Madness.
Yeah. So no, just Podcast Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, you go first with your showing stuff.
New stuff. Let's see what we got. Anybody got anything you want to show off?
Well, I bought this Midnight Madness poster. It was a decent price, and I didn't know if I actually had it or not. I probably do somewhere. But anyways, what I didn't know was it still came in the
Oh, wow.
it was
Oh. I
totally
got to take this call. It's my kid. I'm sorry.
screw that kid. You got another one? So
Hello.
So do you know, was that from like Spencer's or like Walmart, or do you have any idea where it was from?
I don't know, just says California Posters, and then it's got the price there, $3.50.
Nice.
But so I mean, this to me is everybody opened the poster,
Yeah.
put it on
Yeah.
their wall, and threw this away. So I didn't even know this was included, because when they were advertising it, they just had the poster rolled out. I don't know, $12, something like that. I'm like, for $12, if I don't have it, I'll get it. And then when it arrives, it's got the whole little. So Night Ranger goes from being, nobody to just a few years later, you could go in your local Kmart and order
Heck yeah.
up your Night Ranger.
That would
poster.
have been Camelot music for me and Brent.
So that was a nice little surprise.
Miss those days.
So I've been picking up cassettes just if they're unique and they're very reasonably priced. So I found Night Ranger on Boardwalk,
Yep. Orange side. I've got that one.
Nice.
and it's got the flat black there.
That looks in great shape too.
Very much so. I don't even know if it's ever been played. So, And it's actually got a little bit of some of the credits and stuff there. So pick that up. And I picked this up because it was, again, maybe $4, and it was Canadian. But when I got it, so here's the Canadian version of Big Life.
Mm-hmm.
Different than the US because it uses the uncluttered,
Yeah.
cover there. It's in the centered logo. But when I got it, and it does come with an MCA case. But when I got it, this is what I recognized totally different. It's got the gate, like the kind of like the gate fold back or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So the US version didn't have this overlap. And I'm sure if I got it out and it would show some differences, but the US version just stops here.
Right.
So something a little unique. Black cassette tape, a little bit different than the States. So, just for $4, I picked it up, and just a little nerdish surprise. And if you're out there going, wow, that's kind of cool, you are my people. And last, but definitely not least, this is something I've been looking for a while. Can you guys still hear me? I hit a button.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
So I had an opportunity to pick this up years ago, and it sat there for a while, and I just didn't do it. I should have. And I was able to find it real reasonable again.
That out.
Oh, the Japanese little 3-inch. Good thing it's not broken.
So this is a
You see that little screen part at the bottom? That hole? Yeah, that part. You're supposed to break that off and then it folds up. And it's great when they don't do that.
So this is the only, I think, official release. Well, they did release Don't Start Thinking I'm Alone Tonight on 45 in the States. But this is the only official release in Japan of it. And it's the only one with like any particular artwork. The Don't Start Thinking I'm Alone Tonight 45 was just a stock copy with an MCA cover. So
that's really cool, man.
And is the Restless Kind the second track, or is there a bonus track on that? Sometimes they put extra stuff on those.
The B side is Kiss Me Where It Hurts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with those two singles, you get Everybody But Jeff Watson. A little copyright because Alan Fitzgerald and Kelly Keagy, Jack Blades, Don't Start Thinking, Brad Gillis and Jack Blades, Kiss Me Where It Hurts. So anyways, very, very rare, very unique, from a cool time era. So this is probably the last commercial release of anything from the classic era. I mean, you had Greatest Hits and Live in Japan, but
Sure.
this would have probably been it. So there's the new stuff for myself.
Right.
Okay, well, this comes from a guy that, we call friend, sometimes we call foe. I like to call him friend. Josh sent me these cool Kiss socks. He asked me if they fit, and I'm like, fit? They're already in the collection. What are you talking about?
I own those too. I bought those for myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
So see, I still got the hanger on there. So Josh, thank you.
Supposed to be wearing them, man.
Nope. Because if they start stinking, they'll really remind me of you. So I don't want to go there.
Oh.
My second new thing is something that all of us have, and most of us on the page. A lot of people jumped on this. I have number 247. Andy has like 246.
Yeah, I'm right by you. I don't know where mine. But yeah, I got one of these too.
Yeah, and they're very well done. It looks like the cover looks like it could be a copy off the CD book. It's a little blurry.
Well, the CD book's blurry.
Yeah, I know.
So to me, they did good with the cover, because to me the CD book is blurry, and if they just enlarged that, this would be even more pixelated.
Yeah.
A good example is the Damn Yankees reissue that was the gatefold, and in the Damn Yankees original record, remember had all those photos in there? Those were all just blown up and it looks horrible. Yeah, I called these guys, and I said, you guys know who I am. And I was like, I don't want no 240 something. So I got 22.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
The day of my birth.
I was amazed it came within 5 days. Mine came from Lisbon, Portugal.
Well, we could talk about this for a little bit. So this is well done. Like I said, there's not a lot to work with the cover. They did a decent job on the back. The hand number, I could do without the hand numbered stuff. To me, I would rather have it sealed with a cool hype sticker, but okay, that's fine. You do get an insert, so that's cool. And you do get the custom label, so you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I took some shrink wrap off one of my laser discs and put it over top of the album. Can you see the little, right there, the little waves?
I was going to ask you if you shrink wrapped yours.
No, I put it inside of a poly, bag, a sealable bag, but I went ahead and put shrink wrap just to give the extra layer of protection.
And another one that I got. Test that.
Yeah. Yeah. How many did you buy?
A few. 85, which I thought was a good number. That's probably the ultimate year of Night Ranger's, height of popularity.
That's the Ocho Cinco edition.
And other than that, I got some numbers that I'm not sure if they're 2s or 8s or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's only 500 of those. I think a couple of the places were already sold out that were selling them. So get your copy today.
Okay. Yeah, it's very cool. Okay, Dave Nadelman, if you're watching or listening and you make your little year-end video, this is a moment to where you want to record Josh and Andy's face, because they have not seen this. They don't know anything about this. It's so freaking rare that I'm the fourth person in the entire world that knows about this. And that would be, ta-da, look at Josh's face. Look at Josh's face. Somewhere in California. This will be released in April. Look at him smiling. And the gatefold is absolutely fucking amazing. Look at that. We have a liner notes is a story about what the band was doing when they wrote these. It's an interview with my good buddy, which it was funny because I emailed him after I got this. Clay Marshall, he did the liner notes, and I didn't realize he was the one that did the interview. And so we had a nice going back and forth. But look they took all the pictures from the CD book, and and I know Andy had ranked this album cover kind of low.
Hey, hold that back up.
In our ranking, but man, it's beautiful.
Definitely the album
picture, man. I mean, that's
cover
beautiful.
Actually looks better than it did. I was just seeing who.
Yeah.
So just seeing the pictures they had there. So
it's the same pictures in the book.
All right. Well, they could always take some of those pictures out depending on.
But what's really cool is how they made that a Polaroid on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the CD tray right there, blown up. But the cover, I mean, it's too beautiful for words.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to see through the video camera, but man, that's art right there.
It pops better than the CD cover.
And then
it's better than my countertop.
You get here, this is a very special custom label because it's a test pressing. See that?
Huh.
Look at Josh smiling. Good. You son of a bitch. I can't believe you're dropping this on me. I got these 2 days before Christmas. They came. So I thought, oh, I can't wait to break this on the podcast. I ain't telling nobody about it. But
Wow.
look at
Good
so
stuff.
I've never seen Josh smile like that.
Well, it's that's us, man. We're the ones. I'm taking credit for it. We're the ones
So
driving this vinyl market for Night Ranger.
what's going to happen is, I'm still trying to convince Clay to come on. Clay doesn't work with this company any longer, but he hung around for the release to oversee it. I promised him, and before April, we'll do another touching on this thing to sell it for a record store day, because that's what it's going to be released as, in blue vinyl.
Oh wow, blue
Vinyl.
They
So,
should do a deep blue like the sky.
Well,
Well,
I think it was advertised like as a specific blue.
but yeah, this I'm looking on you guys cannot understand the richness of the colors by looking at it through this camera thing. So Josh, here, I'll give you one more look. There you go. It's beautiful. And here's your test pressing with your custom label there. Look at that.
Now, Brent, with that, did he give you any indication how many copies there would be? Or do we ever know that
Well,
with record store day?
Originally said it was 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 copies. And so it's going to look, this is a jacket. This is a jacket that everybody's going to get. You're just not going to get that test pressing. But yeah.
Brent wins the day.
Well, it's a fantastic piece. He told me to, he told me I could show him on this next episode, but to hold off on doing anything else with it until April. So,
Wow.
so that's that. So there you go. So
There you
thanks,
go.
Clay. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Leading into the preview of what's coming up for 2022.
Yeah, there you
like
go.
you're ready
So-
to unsubscribe from the page. Hold on.
So yeah, he told me when after I said, he sent this to me December 8th, and it's sat in California. It just kept saying the post office is in ownership or something like that. And it sat there and sat there and sat there. And all of a sudden, Tuesday before Christmas, it ended up in Cincinnati. There was no tracking on it, because we were both kind of freaking out, like, what's going on with this thing?
So you're saying it's
So-
just sitting somewhere in California?
Just somewhere in California, yeah. I didn't even realize
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
I'll be here all night.
And he told me that I was the fourth person to see this. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice, man.
I'm the
That
fourth
is-
person to touch it and lay my eyes on it.
It's
That's the
now
kind of
been
stuff you
tainted.
get here.
What were you saying, Josh?
I said it's now been tainted.
Well, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It doesn't suck.
Yeah, that looks really great, man.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job. I cannot wait to get the record store release,
Oh yeah.
as well. And it will be sealed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
there you go. That's all I have for that. Do we want to do any fans of motion news? I jotted down a few, since we're trying to do the year-end review.
Done bought it.
Sure.
Okay. We went ahead and we're harkening back to this past week, of course. And here we have, I can't see with my fat head in the way. Shannon McWilliams. She got a sealed copy of A Night in Chicago on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Those are kind of hard to come by at a good price. The cheapest I'm seeing them for, I've seen one for recently, is like $40 out of Japan, but you're paying $25 shipping.
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas. Thank you for sharing that. I'm trying to remember who bought that for her. He posted it, but she's on the page as well.
Craig
we get-
Sirkirky or something like that.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Then we got Tammy Schmidt-Allen with her fabulous popcorn can. It's like somebody did a custom can with her picture with Night Ranger.
That's great. I mean,
So-
who doesn't love a can of popcorn?
Oh, only caramel. I don't like the caramel popcorn.
You got to get that Chicago mix, the cheddar popcorn with the caramel.
Nah, no, I'm not into
And if
the
you're in
cheddar.
Chicago, you go to Garrett's Popcorn. You wait in line out on the sidewalk, and that's where you buy it.
I remember when we were kids and Grippo's used to make this big, Grippo's potato chips is big in Cincinnati, and they used to have these big red cans that you could buy potato chips in a big bag. And my dad would always buy the cheese popcorn one, which was a white can. And he'd sit there with that can between his legs and a big ass spoon and just eat it. And I'd be like, why are you eating it with the spoon? He goes, I don't get the cheese on my fingers. So years later, that's how I eat cheese. But I eat cheese puffs with a fork. I smack them with a fork and eat it. And because, you know, back when I used to work, people would have orange keyboards because all the stuff was white. You know, the computers, remember that?
Yeah.
And you could tell who was eating Cheetos because their keyboards would be orange. And they got yelled at, so I started eating mine with a fork. That's kind of like the George Costanza eating the Snickers with the knife and fork.
Never thought about doing that. But the orange fingers is what's the pain in the butt about Cheetos. Yeah, so, I love Cheetos. So
I started the trend at work. It's funny because I walk around, I still see people doing it. And they'll open a little plastic fork and that works as well. So anyway, there's your tip of the day. My final fans emotion is Lance Rushing, who I kind of tipped this off by accident earlier. Lance Rushing had posted this video, which the title of it is kind of clickbait.
Yeah.
Comes from a pissed off drummer. Nobody was pissed off. They were just talking about Sister Christian in the video, and I thought it was pretty cool. But God, this guy's they gotta love it, but they gotta be tired of talking about Sister Christian constantly with everybody. But why I chose this is because the dude was talking about how iconic the song is. And I'm like, I am so glad we did our iconic episode.
Yeah.
And, you know, before this came out, because then people, you know, we were first to do the iconic stuff in a sense. So that's my fans emotion news. Everybody, I wish you a happy new year so far, and I hope you had a great Christmas. And that's all we got from this news desk. Back to you, Andy and Josh. Take it away.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks for that update. Thanks for that hot Cheeto talk too.
Hey, I'm full of tips.
You know, those of you out there just curious how to get around the Cheeto fingers, tune in for our next podcast that we're going to do. Brent and I are going to start hot food talk.
Now, for Cheetos, especially the small ones.
Josh wants something to do with that one.
The small ones, you know, you can eat with a spoon, big spoon. And that works too.
Well, what's your thoughts on the Planters cheese balls?
I don't touch anything that is cheese and ball related.
Sure you don't.
I do not. That's your department.
All right.
I love cheesy balls.
Cheese boobs. Okay, we've lost it.
I do. All right, Josh, you ready to start this countdown or whatever the heck we're doing? This rewind, this year in review.
Well, I reckon
the highs, the lows.
Well, let's. I guess a couple things we could talk about just reviewing 2021. And it seems like the year went by quick. Yeah. But then you think back about this, like, God, that seems forever ago. If you remember the beginning of the year, even in November of 20, there was a show they didn't advertise or anything in Michigan.
Yep. That
Brad missed. And then in January, Brad missed a couple shows in Sturgis.
Yeah, one in Florida.
Well, he made the Florida ones.
I thought there was one he missed in Florida.
Eventually there were some, but he did come back and do like when they did SeaWorld and some other places. But then, Brad again missed some shows. So the year started out with Night Ranger being the 4-piece. But then when Brad came back, Carrie missed some shows. Carrie is missing shows for, I think, his knee, and Brad was missing it for, I think, his shoulder or elbow. So, that was kind of unique. You would see these shows where Eric was taking over with the keyboards and everything. And you had some interesting moments. There was the Sturgis show earlier this year where Gilby Clarke of Guns N' Roses filled in for Carrie. And you also had the show, it was a real short notice show in July. It was one of these rock festivals, and Corey Taylor from Slipknot came out and joined Night Ranger. That got a lot of press out there. There was some ups and downs in the live concert world, but like I said, it was cool to see Gilby playing with Night Ranger and Corey Taylor as well. I guess if we go to the the Fans in Motion podcast, we started the year off right with our first episode was probably one of my favorite episodes. Eric Levy plays his 13 favorite riffs by Fitz.
Yeah.
If you have not watched that, it's episode 32. It's fantastic. Make sure you go and track that one down. And it's always cool where I'm always seeing comments, usually on the YouTube, but sometimes on Facebook, where people are just discovering this podcast for the first time. So I'm sorry for you, but your life is going to take a sudden turn for the worse with us entering it. But we had Brandon Etheridge join us, who played a series of shows with Night Ranger in 2012, replacing Eric Levy while he was having the birth of his first child. We ranked Neverland, so we got another list of you guys as being wrong.
You guys, you're talking to the Fans of Motion that's listening right now, not myself. I know better than that.
Yeah, your lists are always wrong, and most of the people agree. Anyway, the ones worth listening to. We had David Lauser, part 3. Pretty much, I think that's one where we had Eckler join before he passed and aired.
You mean this David Eckler? May he rest in peace.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Did a Night Ranger vinyl episode, which I'll go through some of the vinyl that was released this year, but we did that in conjunction with them releasing the colored Midnight Madness. We interviewed Tristan Avakian, who again played with Night Ranger over a couple series of shows throughout 2011 and 12. I played with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We did our favorite concert stories, which is a 2-episode thing. If you really want to get to know a little bit about us and our history, those are probably 2 episodes to
that was crazy. It lasted as long as it did, to be honest with you. I didn't think going into that we had enough material, but my goodness.
We interviewed Tom Shannon about music licensing and everything. One of my personal favorites is we tracked down Britt Gilmore from the original Rangers, which, damn it, I just bought a frame for that. So he was part of the country group that Jack always talks about before the song Night Ranger. So we got to hear the whole story of the group of the Rangers, which had its own cool little story. We had our first breaking news. We had heard the new Night Ranger. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but and then in March we had 3 episodes with Kelly Kagi. That was that's where it really started taking off. We got an original member. We got all the good details of everything leading up to Dawn Patrol. So probably some of our more popular episodes. The breakup years, we did that. We ranked Midnight Madness with Eric Levy. So Eric came on and we all ranked our songs. Eric got to play some stuff and everything. We did a Collecting 7 Wishes episode. We introduced the Night Ranger world, the fandom, to Mr. Ed Repepe, the tour manager of Night Ranger, the man that corrals all the craziness. So that was, again, getting everybody inside that Night Ranger world. We did a Damn Yankees episode where we did the first record. We, again, took you behind the curtains and did an interview with Richie Russo, the drum tech and keyboard tech for Night Ranger. What did we do? We had a 1-year anniversary episode. We ranked Don't Let Up, which again, everybody got to see how
How silly.
Your Liza's list are.
Yeah. Yeah, you picked something freaking crazy on that one.
It was
because
right.
you didn't like what was it? Yeah, it's heavy, and then it gets poppy, and I'm like, oh my god, you're crazy, you lost it.
Anyways, go back and watch the episode and figure out what you're talking about. We created concepts for future work. Carl Davino, sound man for Night Ranger. We did an episode. Well, kind of correlates what I'll go into, where we did when we all were meeting out on the road, seeing Night Ranger. What we'll talk about here soon. We did the ATBPO, the record release. We talked to Mike Brunn, who does another podcast. We did 10 Night Ranger songs. Every Night Ranger fan should know. You guys fucked that all up.
He's awful confident, isn't he, Andy?
And we took our first break, which I really enjoyed getting away from you guys. We took 2 months? Yeah.
Seemed like it.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was initially supposed to be like 4 weeks, and then life got in the way.
Dude, I wake up and like I'd be smiling, like I don't have to talk to Brent today. That's just like, let's keep this going. But anyways, a lot of great episodes throughout 2021. The podcast is going good, going strong. But what really got us, I mean, think about where we were at the beginning of the year. And then think about now. I mean, Brent's, making his connections, getting his records. Like I can pick this up. I got my set of passes. I mean, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You guys hear that? Or is it just me?
No, it's me. It's my kid. I've got to keep it up so I can keep looking and see what she needs.
No, I'm not talking about the digging. Anyways.
Oh.
We'll play this back and you guys will hear it. Anyways.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah.
So it really kind of all kicked off when I was messaging Eric one day and we were talking and he was at the airport. I was like, well, if you're sitting next to one of the guys, give him my number and, let's get him on here. Next thing I know, I'm talking to Kelly Kagi. We set up our Kelly Kagi interviews in February. We released those in March. Slowly but surely, build up a relationship. And in May, Kelly asked me to help him with, his socials, which that is right when the world was starting to kind of open again. The vaccinations had rolled out. And I had talked about flying to Houston to see the first Night Ranger show in like a year. And when I started doing the Kelly Kagi page, I was like, well, hell, I'm going to go down. And so that was the first time I really got to meet Ed and the crew and got to know Kelly and the guys. And then within a month, I was doing the Night Ranger socials. And then a month or so later, doing the Jack Blade socials and getting all these photos for us to use for our pages and their pages. And then what really, what kicked it off was, I hate that you weren't able to make it, Andy, so we had that Houston show.
Yep.
And then I just always wanted to go to the Surf Ballroom out in Iowa. Night Rangers playing there. So I decided to do this 3-day trip. It was a little bit longer because I threw a day on the front and the end. But so I went to, Clear Lake, Iowa to the Surf Ballroom. And, that was where it was, at this time they're comfortable with me. We know each other. I went to a different place. And then Wabash the next day, Brent got to sit on Kelly Kagi's drum kit. And
Iconic there.
just Jack Blades walks by. Hey, Brent, how you doing? You know, I mean, think about where the podcast started and where we were. You know, just little things. It's just for a little bit, you know, surreal. You know.
Yeah, having Jack Blade saying, "Hey, Brent Walter," is it doesn't get normal, folks. It don't get normal.
And it's cool that you know at the Wabash show, I wasn't doing Jack's socials, and we did a walkout where I filmed live, like the walkout to the stage, which has I think almost you know 200,000 views, and they liked some of that stuff so much. I just remember Jack going, Josh, what do we got to do to get this going? Like his fan page.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just cool. You know, it's like how do we get here? But you know, we had again, Andy, you're missing out. We had the Dayton show where they opened for Styx.
You're going too quick for me. I'm trying to get pictures up as we're doing this.
No one cares about the pictures.
There's a picture.
There we go. Sexy. All right, look at that. And then probably you know, I mean, a highlight of the year was the Danny Rapepi Memorial Show in Cleveland, which was the first time that I met Mr. Andrew there, and great time. I mean, that doesn't even capture everybody that was there.
No,
that was probably half of them.
I got another picture here. I'll find it.
But it was that's where you really saw, you know, the power of the page was just, you know, you showed up to a Night Ranger concert and you had 30 close friends with you, you know?
Oh yeah.
So definitely a great event. And then I helped out the guys with Nashville and Pigeon Forge in October, you know, just with everything going on, just, you know, helping them out just with whatever they needed. So that was, you know, again, kind of weird. Hey, can you, you know, you do this or whatever? And next thing I know, here I am, just part of the crew. So, and
yeah,
then,
that was the best birthday ever too.
And then you guys joined us at the Dixon Nashville show. You know, signed drum heads from Ed and the group, and then, you know, just kind of a fluke, I saw that they were playing Tampa in November, and not that I was going to go see them, but I was like, I hadn't been to Florida since the 80s.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how much does it even cost to fly to Florida now? So I just, you know, just typed in, I don't even think I typed in those dates, but it was like Spirit Airlines. It was like $60 round trip. And I typed in those dates and moved it around, and I got round trip tickets, $60. I'm like, well,
hard to beat.
I take my kid to the beach. My mom and my aunt joined us, and Saturday night we'll go see Night Ranger. And Ed hooked us up. And again, it's weird. I'm standing there holding my kid, and next thing I know, there's a hand on my back, and it's, you know, it's Kelly and Eric. Hey, Josh. And I'm talking to them. Next thing I know, I hear Jack. Hey, Josh. And they all gather around, and we get a photo. And so it's just, again, it's surreal. I'm living the dream. We are all living the dream.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great. And hopefully, you know, all the cool shit that's out there, you know, we passed along, and you guys get to see stuff, do stuff, hear about new stuff that's coming out, you know, down the pipeline, which there is. Save your money, guys. But yeah, you know, that was, you know, kind of my, you know, thrust into the Night Ranger world, to say the least. And then we had, you know, we had a new record, the ATBPO record. But the year started off with a couple things. It started off with, in late 20, we had the Dawn Patrol.
Yeah.
Colored vinyl. It's purple. I think I put my opened one. I think I got my open one signed by Kelly. And I think I put that in my kid's case. So I need to open another one. But anyways, purple vinyl. It's beautiful. This is actually hard to find. So if you can find a copy, probably for less than.
You know, it's odd. This time last year is when I got those from them for all of us, you know.
But this one you can still get for a decent price. So this came out in January. So this is the reissue of Midnight Madness with the light blue vinyl. So 2021 started off good. You had a couple of reissues there. And we had former member Joel Hoekstra release a solo record. And if you, like I said, if you guys like Night Ranger, get this, you'll be happy. It's great musicians. The first CD was excellent. This CD was a good follow-up. So you can't go wrong. Heart Attack is an awesome track. So go check out Joel's new record. But again, new music coming out already in 2021. I'm going a little bit out of order. This was reissued on vinyl. So we had a reissue of this. It's the Greatest Hits Live with the blue vinyl, which I can't show you, but custom label. But again, it just shows you, hey, Night Ranger's pressing stuff and getting stuff out. And then before I get to that, I forgot to bring it down, but I did buy this. I held off just to find it for a decent price, and I did. See if I can. This right here. So it's an official release, and it's from the same show, the MCA show, the home video release, and that live record set that I have that I always talk about.
Irvine Meadows.
Yep. So so I ordered it. It's put together well. The sound quality, it's not as good as that, you know, whatever, I forget what the title, who is it?
Westwood One.
Westwood One. Because Westwood One, I mean, they got it straight from the feed and mastered it. This, they say it's like remastered and everything, but it's remastered from the VHS. You can hear at the beginning. Remember, like when
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of the drums from Eddie, or Night Ranger, one of the two songs. You hear that at the beginning. So they're just remastering the VHS mix. So it's not. It's good if that's all you can get, but it cuts out all the good stuff, little nuances and stuff from the Westwood One record set. But definitely worth getting.
You said that's an official release?
Official release.
So what countries are from?
Japan.
You sure?
Yep.
It just doesn't seem like Japan would do. They would, you know,
if it is, can't say it's a counterfeit because it's not it's not trying to replace anything. So if anything, it would be a bootleg.
Yeah, I bet it's a bootleg. But
it's not. It's got catalog numbers and.
No, there's bootleg. I got bootlegs that have catalog numbers.
No, it's not like those. I got bootlegs too, but this is official. So, I don't know how they're doing it. If they're, officially, the product is official. Are they paying the royalties? I don't know, but they have taken it and done it right. And they did most of it right. They got the right era and the photos and shit like that. There is one Big Life photo that they use. Usually you'll get, hey, the concert's from 1983 and all the photos are 5 years later. So they did a good job. It's got, liner notes and stuff. So I'll show it next time. I forgot to bring it down, but like I said, there's a lot of stuff being released in 2021. The biggest of which, what was the date? August 6th. That sound right?
6th or 8th.
I think you're right.
ATBPO was released and the band played on. And we got what, 4 different vinyl releases. You got, well, if you got the CD, if you got any physical copy, you got the extra track Savior.
Mm-hmm.
So if you only listen to it on streaming or digital, you don't have Savior. So if you bought the CD, you have Savior. If you bought the Japanese CD, you have Savior and the acoustic version of The Hardest Road. And then the other releases were, you had the Frontiers, the record company version, which was the clear vinyl. And you had 4 different colors of this. You had the clear vinyl. You had the standard stock copy, which is the red vinyl.
That's my favorite.
You had the the exclusive Night Ranger web store version, the yellow, which I think is my favorite. And you had Newberry Comics, which included a cool little hype sticker. And they had the blue. So you had
That blue too. That's nice.
4 different colored versions of the record that was released. The record got a lot of great reviews. There was a lot of buzz. I mean, it was a fun summer. I mean, we had this new record coming out, new videos. I'm doing stuff for Night Ranger. You know, Brent sitting behind the drum kit.
Brent on this campaign to get it as charted as high as we could. Do we ever know how far we got it officially?
I want to say maybe 22.
That's all I was thinking. I think 22 is the last we saw.
But
I was so disappointed because I really thought we could make a difference. But hey, that's the highest charting album they've had.
I think we did make a difference. I think we all had this dream that we would get it, push it to top 5 or number 1 even.
I was going for broke.
But
even little things. When I went on my baseball trip, I had Breakout played at the Peoria Chiefs baseball stadium. So but yeah, I mean, it was a good year. 2022 is going to be even better. Brent, just showed the
somewhere in
California record. I know of some other stuff that's in the pipeline, and small stuff and big stuff. So again, just put money aside. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of live shows being announced 2022. Yeah. I mean, from January until May, they're playing almost every weekend.
Yeah. And I think we'll be at the January show, right? Lima?
Yeah, weather permitting,
So the Lima show, I'd really love to go to the Bristol show the day before, but you got the Lima show in January, and then I'm going to be at the
what is it, Anderson, Indiana?
Anderson, Indiana. Those are the 2 that I got kind of penciled in right now. But yeah, they're playing. They got the Key West Festival.
Yeah, Rock Fest.
They're playing Billy Bob's down in Texas, and they got the 80s Rock Cruise and a few shows with Styx. So yeah, I mean, 2022, man. It's the 40th anniversary of Dawn Patrol.
Technically, 40th anniversary of the band,
Well, I would say the 40th anniversary of the band was.
Well, but as far as them coming into existence for the world, it's their 40th anniversary. That's when they were put on. That's when they were put on the map.
So does Kiss celebrate 72 or 74?
They weren't together in 72.
Yeah, they were.
They formed in 73.
72.
You're out of your fucking mind.
72.
Out of your mind. 72. I'm gonna educate you, boy. You're wrong.
This is 1972.
You are wrong.
It's not when Ace joined. Just those 3. Anyways, so Night Ranger formed in 1980. So there you go. So we're technically at 42 years of Night Ranger 40 years.
Yeah, but 40, it will be technically 40th. Like on the 35th anniversary, it would have been the 37th then.
Stop with your fuzzy math.
No. Fuzz math. Do it, Andy.
I can't remember how he does it. I'll probably come to me when we're done.
So there you go. I don't think we're the only ones who had good Night Ranger years. I don't think about it enough as I should, but like it was cool seeing my name in the Night Ranger record, Fans in Motion in the Night Ranger record.
Mhm.
I mean, I still need to take a picture and put it on, my page, but I'll get there. But
it was it was a year full of surprises. I mean, for I think all three of us, we didn't know. I mean, we hoped the Fans in Motion page would lead to what it did, and to see the power it had in Cleveland was just phenomenal.
Unlimited power.
It was yeah, unlimited power. Good. Anyway, yeah, it was so cool. I mean, like you were saying, telling my memories of Wabash and getting to go behind Kelly's set, and Josh and I are in front of the Night Ranger banner on the stage, pointing at it. And I don't know if this showed up, but like I said, that right there, that cements my history in Night Ranger right there. A Kerry Kelly pick, and there's still one we need. I remember Josh going to St. Louis and just going through them and bringing baggies and baggies of these things. It just was. It was fun. It was fun for me meeting all you people out there. It was like knowing everybody and meeting them for the first time, but knowing them forever. Just absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better 2021 in my Night Ranger world. Andy, you?
Yeah, well, like Josh had brought up, meeting the people is, you're with thousands of people that enjoy the same music, but then you get the people that are from the page, and I mean, it's so cool to finally to meet the people that we see all the time and we talk about all the time on the page. Josh had meeting everybody in Cleveland was phenomenal for me because I didn't get the Wabash experience or Dayton, but it was awesome, and to meet Ed and shake his hand, especially at that show, was amazing. Got to meet Robin, who has been a guest on the show, which is so cool. I'm always fascinated with younger people that are into Night Ranger, which I will mention. A highlight for me was I went to the Rockin' Pod podcast festival down here, and I was wearing the Fans in Motion shirt, and I've talked about it on the podcast, but just a highlight was, again, going back to the iconic issue Brent brought up at the episode, was people saw the logo. They assumed it was Night Ranger, even though it said Fans in Motion. And I'm walking through this convention of fellow podcasters, and all yelling, "Hey, Night Ranger guy. Hey, guy. Hey, Night Ranger, come over here." And in the process of doing that, I'm standing there talking to somebody, and there's a young kid. I mean, he's got to be 20. And he's going on and on about how he listened to, and the band played on all the way down from New Jersey in his car, and he loved the album. And I'm like, how is this possible? Like, you're 20. And that just blows my mind. And I love that, I mean, again, this band, I think in an era when most bands should probably stop putting out new music, I'm glad these guys are still putting out new music because it's great. And, highlight stuff for me. I mean, I think people see it in our faces when Eric's on the show and he starts playing just iconic parts of songs, and we all kind of lose our minds. And
my name comes to mind.
And again, talking to Kelly, it was just phenomenal. And just, if this goes no further than what we've accomplished now, how lucky have we been, at least as hosts, the three of us. And yet this page, the guys, we know they're seeing the stuff, and Josh is talking to them, and they know we exist, not just us, the page, this group of fans that just loves this band. And I love it. And I look forward to 2022, and I look forward to bumping into people, at shows. And I Josh and I were talking the other day outside of the podcast that I'm going to try to see if I can go to that Bristol show. It's close enough that I think I could make a run over there. Just depends on my schedule. But yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. And again, I can't believe a year has gone by so quickly. In this crazy time we're in right now. I think the podcast has been a savior for not just us. I think for the fans of the band, and I hope the band. I hope they know that they're completely loved by a handful of people. What are we up to now, Josh? I think it's like 6,500 is the last number I saw.
Yeah, Facebook has really kind of redone stuff to where they don't really push the groups anymore. So,
yeah, I went through my friends list the other day and re-invited some people. You might have seen a handful of people pop back up, or you might have approved them. I just went back through and saw the people I thought would have an interest in the page, and I think three or four of them jumped on.
Think how dormant the Night Ranger world was a year and a half ago. And then we create this page and get it going. And then we get the Night Ranger socials going. And we get Jack and Kelly involved, and we get their socials going. We get, think about concert dates, we didn't know when they were, and now we got them being pushed to the socials. Hey, show this week, or, show going on sale. We've really changed the Night Ranger world when it comes to this social media presence. So it went from I'm the only Night Ranger dork out there to, hey, there's a bunch of us. There's the other dude buying those fucking records. So
I just remember how exciting it was when we started this, and the night that Josh and I spoke on the phone and we hung up, I called Andy. And after I got off the phone with Andy, I was already working on the Fans of Motion logo, and sending them guys shitty versions of it, that were just, I'm like, I'll make it better. I promise I'll make it better.
Yeah.
And thank God. And, it worked out because you're proof, Andy, going through the Rockin' Pod.
Yeah.
It fit its purpose.
Well, just speaking of your logos and your artwork that I know, and everybody should know, it takes Brent sometimes hours to do these. You got members of the band reaching out to us like, hey, can I get that done? I'm sure I speak for everybody. Like, I would kill to have a member of the band, A, reach out to me, and B, ask me to design something for him. Like I said, Josh will say every now and then he'll show me, like, he'll send us screenshots of his phone messages, and it's like missed call or text message, and it's like, it's like Brad and Kelly and Eric. I was like, think about that. We start out just a bunch of guys, we're just some guys from Jersey.
One of my favorite stories was probably right around like when we were going to do the Fitz Eric Levy thing episode, and I was at Target. And I don't know, looking for a clock or some shit right in the back of the store. And I was like, and I made a mental note to myself as I'm pushing my cart. Oh, don't forget to call Eric and remind him. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that to myself. Okay. And I'm looking at clocks in Target, and I'm like, all right, that mental message was, don't forget to call Eric Levy of Night Ranger to tell him to, so sometimes it's
a little surreal.
Well, Andy, I think I told you one time I woke up, I think I went to bed early or something. Another thing, these guys are all West Coast and, East Coast, but I went to bed early. I think I woke up and I was like, I had like missed call from Kelly, Jack, Ed, something like, it was like this stream of people.
Well, it's missed calls. They're probably thinking, who is this guy? Like, I'm Jack Blades or whoever. I'm calling him and he doesn't answer his damn phone. I'll tell you another reminder of one of my highlights of the year in a funny way was, I think I was sleeping, and then it was a day off and I was taking a nap. And, sometimes, I think we all do this. We check our phone and like, that's Josh. I'll talk to him later. And his message was, give me a call. We got a Ranger. And man, I came out of that bed and I'm like, holy shit. I was like, Josh, what's going on? Is it Kelly? Is it Brent? He's like, no, Ranger. Not settle down, Beavis. It's not Night Ranger. And I was,
it was,
and then Brent ends up being such a fun interview, man. I was so cool. Find out, he lives here in town and he like invites me out for barbecue. It's like, but I just remember like prioritizing like how important that message was. Josh, I came out of the bed quickly.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
And we did eventually get a Ranger.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And I saw on eBay someone selling a Kerry Kelly guitar pick with your logo was on.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That Brent Walter at AOL.
No, I don't. I'm not. Like I said, I'm never going to part with these. It was as generous as I try to be. When Kerry came up to me in Cleveland and handed me a stack, and we had the fans motion behind, nobody even saw him. I'm over talking to Kerry Kelly, and there's 10 or 20 people from Fans of Motion 5 feet away. And I come back over and I'm like looking at the pics and like, where'd you get this? I was just talking to Kerry. And so it was like, I knew I had to hand them out, but I was like, oh my God, I'm like, wait, I'm going to see what I have doubles up first. Some of you may get some of you may not, but I was able to get everybody there a pick. And I remember even towards the end of the show, I was looking back in the crowd and Ken Finley, I saw him up in the stands and I had an extra one of whatever. And I ran it up and gave it to him because, like I said, we just solidified a lot of good friendships that night. Reflecting back what you guys were talking about. Yeah. Getting emails from Kerry about the pick and, hey, it's, make sure I'm getting ready to send it off to the printers and blah, blah, blah. Go over it one more time. I mean, that's crazy seeing those emails. Andy, I don't want to speak for you, but the message that Kelly did for you. Oh
yeah.
Just fantastic. Those guys are just top notch.
Well, I mean, that's a nice nod to Josh looking out for us. And while we may bust each other's balls or cheesy balls on this podcast, I mean, we're all really good friends, and Josh is a real, he looks out for us. And,
Josh,
at a very crucial time in my life, I got an amazing text message, thanks to Josh and one Kelly Kagi himself. So, which I've shown to many people, and they're all like, "Holy shit, that's the guy saying Sister Christian." I was like, "Yeah, got a message from him."
Iconic.
And as much just Josh tries to, have the bravado of being such a dick, like he's Gene Simmons and shit, like they're eating his candy corn or whatever the fuck he's putting in his mouth.
His brown M&Ms.
We're in Dixon, Tennessee. Dick is an appropriate name, for a town which Josh to be in at the time. But no, he's coming up to me, hugging on me. It's my birthday. Hey, we're going to do this. But hey, Kelly wants to talk to you after the show. Wish you happy birthday. Just it's cool stuff, Josh. Thanks a lot.
None of that happened.
Yeah, it did. and as he was hugging me in Dixon, he's like, man, I wish my list were as fucking good as yours. God damn it.
Was that the quiet message he was
he whispered in my ear and then gave me his room key, and I said, I gotta go back with my wife. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's again, hopefully we all get to go to more shows together because it is fun.
Yeah.
3 of us and just rocking out. We all love the songs, and of course Josh can maybe sometimes parlay things for us. Gets us the drum heads, which was awesome, where we at least got to Ed and make sure that they knew it was Brent's birthday.
And it's fun to, it's fun to like when you're, helping them out doing stuff. So I'm actually working and carrying stuff and whatever they need. But then it's fun to also, just relax and have a show like Wabash where you're just having some beers. But
Wabash for me was it was incredibly surreal because we were back in their meeting room.
Well, Wabash was a good venue. I mean, I've told you guys, weather dictates the schedule. Do they have a show the next night? All that stuff. But
what they don't know is when we were in that room and we were undoing the markers, they were doing the signings for the Japanese postcard. So we saw that there. We saw the CD books. Gosh, that was what Wabash was July. So we got to see them a month before they came out. It was just crazy. And then Ed said, hey, can you go through that box of those CD books and repackage them for me? Absolutely. Sure. Hey, and then Jack looks at me.
One for me.
And Jack's like, what's the second verse to this song? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And so Josh and I are trying to get on the computer to write the lyrics out for Jack. So because they're rehearsing Bring It On Home to me.
New songs, yeah.
And it's just, your 13-year-old self never thought you'd be doing something like that in a room in a band. Just, they're not telling you to fuck off, go away. You're bothering me, kid,
Well, it's fun.
Well, probably quietly they say that.
Yeah.
Well,
the
suckers.
Little things like I don't think about, and I should, is so like when I was helping them at Pigeon Forge on Monsters on the Mountain, whatever I was helping them with, I'm done. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get some beers, watch John Corabi a little bit, and I get a text from Eric. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, drinking a beer, watching John Corabi. I was like, you free? I know a little bit of the, I know the schedule. I know you. He's like, yeah. I was like, well, dude, I'll walk back over, and so I walked back, went to the dressing room. We grabbed a couple more beers, and so me and Eric are out watching Kicks a little bit. We went out to the merch stand to see if any other Fans of Motion weren't there. There weren't, so that's the picture of me and Eric.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. Just hey, I'm meeting my buddy Eric, and I got to stop. Like, no, this is Eric from, and it's easy to separate the two because Eric before the show doesn't look anything like Eric when he's got his battle uniform on for the show. So it's it's always easy kind of to separate. But and that's the cool thing is just we can call some of these guys our friends, and I mean, how great is that? It's all good, man. It's all good. Really, the only good thing is I got to deal with you assholes.
Hey.
But Eric is the real deal. Like Eric Levy is the real deal. He is when he's on this show and talking, that's exactly the guy that he is. And it just doesn't get old walking into a sound check and there he's seeing you from distance and he's playing keyboards, waving, that's Eric. It's so cool.
So do us a favor, just on the YouTube, and I apologize. I try to get to the YouTube comments and I'm just behind on everything, but leave a message on YouTube, leave a message on the Facebook page, and let us know what was your highlights for 2021. Was it a new record? Was it getting to meet me? Was it?
It was watching your face when I held that up.
Yeah, it's all right.
That was one of my highlights. Yeah, we'll whatever.
See. Yeah, just a matter of time, and we'll have 8 of those in that shelf. So, it's cool to see, but in 30 years, we're all going to be taking dirt naps, and it's not going to matter.
Too much.
It's like this. Like, I'm excited to get this. And I'm wondering, like, in 30 years, where's this going to be? Like, my kid,
is your son gonna care?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is a cool.
What is God? My dad was a nerd.
Let's watch.
I got a Japanese miniature frisbee.
Yeah.
So
I want to before we get out of here too much. I forgot another highlight that I was sitting there thinking about. The beauty of this page is we get friendly with some of the people. We chat with them, and our friend from across the pond, Mark Greenway. His complete joy of listening to And the Band Played On, and when he started barraging the page with, I'm up, it's 2 a.m. here in England, I'm in my backyard,
Yeah, I'm in my garden.
I got so much laughter and joy out of his complete it took us back to like when I think when Brent and I were young. I mean, we would get so excited about an album coming out and we would listen to it and we would talk about it. I mean, we were basically doing what we're doing now in 83. We had long phone cords on our phones and we would stretch them around the corner. But I just want to say that's another, it's a joy that this interweb world gives us is meeting people from around the world. And, I'll say this as I'm probably winding this thing down. Well, I'm not a religious person at all, but I do feel that I am a blessed person for just what we have here as friendship, as a community of fans that love a band. And it speaks volumes about how their music still today touches people and it moves you, whether it moves you to dance, whether it moves you to tears. It is the power of music, and not just Night Ranger, but music. But in this particular case, Night Ranger music. And I just, and I've had a great year in spite of how this year has gone and under this crazy pandemic nonsense that's going on here. I don't mean to dismiss it. I'm just saying it's maddening. I still feel blessed. We're all still relatively healthy, and we have this incredible group of people that we call friends in motion. Who keep us going.
As Mark would say to you, Andy, you're top shelf.
That was very top shelf.
You're top shelf.
That was off the cuff too.
Yeah.
You can probably tell. So there you go, Josh. I'll yield the floor to the man from Middle Ohio.
Just take us out there, Andrew.
Well, thank you, everybody. If you've watched or shared it or told anybody and you've listened to us, Josh is showing you right there. You want to check us out on Apple Podcasts, YouTube specifically, because it's a great, if you like watching this thing, Spotify, iHeartRadio. It's so cool. I mean, again, I was in California and I was talking to a guy about our podcast and he's like, what's it about? And I said, Night Ranger. I showed him, we gave him one of our cards. He freaking loved it. And he's like, I know Sister Christian. I was like, great. Check out the rest of their music. But, yeah, once again, I mean, if you're watching, listening, spread the word. Tell a friend, get one person to if everybody gets one person, this thing just keeps going, keeps getting bigger. Brent, you have anything you want to add to this on the way out?
No, just want to say Merry New Year to all you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for posting on the page. Thank you for, being all of our friends. It's fantastic.
And then, if you act crazy or do something fun or get some crazy rare merch, you too could be a highlight next year.
Yeah.
So
fun year.
Hopefully we'll have some kind of different products or merch ourselves coming out. Maybe we'll figure out something. Josh, you got anything to say goodbye? Brent, you got something to say?
I wanted to say to both of you, thank you for another great year.
Always horns up. Josh?
See y'all next year, yo.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Get that voice under control there, Nick Nolte.
Later.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.